I know this sounds insane, but Apple trapped me. And the weird part is, I don't really want to escape. Well, there is this one thing. But first, let me show you how this whole ecosystem thing works. It didn't happen all at once, of course. Nothing does. It starts with one device. You can think of it as like the gateway drug. You see, this was my first phone, the Samsung Galaxy S5. When my parents got it for me, I was ecstatic. Until I went to school and then the comparing started. I look back now and of course it's not a big deal, but at the time I was like 12 and all I cared about was fitting in and all my friends had iPhones. I still remember how envious I felt and how much I yearned to be a part of that group, and I told myself the first thing I would do when I made a little bit of money when I grew up was get an iPhone. And that's exactly what I did. It took me a couple phones to get there, and don't get me wrong, the Samsung phones were amazing. It just didn't scratch that itch that I wanted. Then finally, I got my first iPhone, and the rest was history. You see, well, this is where it gets interesting because my decision to buy an iPhone happened way before I could afford it. And this has all to do with brand equity. Apple didn't just accidentally become worth almost $4 trillion. Apple isn't just competing with other phones. It's crafting an ecosystem that rewards belonging but punishes those on the outside. Blue text bubbles in iMessage, FaceTime, Game Pigeon, AirDrop, iCloud, even Apple emojis being different. You see, none of these features are revolutionary on their own. The genius is that they only work perfectly if everyone around you also has an iPhone. My first iPhone didn't just unlock the ecosystem, it unlocked people, airdropping your friends, message reactions, and it was more about having a seat at this conversation that I could only watch from the outside when I was growing up. So now that I'm an adult and kind of fully engulfed in the Apple ecosystem, it starts to make a lot more sense, but not necessarily in a good way. All those social complications I mentioned are design choices meant to sell more products and services. Apple benefits when communication works best inside its walls, and they don't have to consider for the people that are left outside them. Apple only profits when belonging requires a purchase, and the people who can't afford to buy are the ones who feel the cost the most. That's also why it left such a deep mark on my childhood. I had this quiet little hope that one day I'd be able to afford to sit at the big kids table for people who mattered. But that isn't reality. The devices you own don't decide how important you are, and a blue bubble doesn't measure the weight of your friendship. Some of the best parts of my life happened completely outside of the ecosystem, in conversations, hobbies, and people that had nothing to do with the logo on the back of my phone. Once you look past the social pressure, you realize belonging isn't something you purchase, it's something you build. The ecosystem gave me the devices, but it also gave me a way to create and express the things I care about in a form that other people can see and feel. So yeah, this is the ecosystem I live in, but I'm gonna leave that door open for that one thing to come along and finally give me a reason to take a step outside. If you made it this far into the video, first I want to say I appreciate it so much. If you liked the video, subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next one.